In the shadow of opulent castles, where love and treachery intertwine, two hearts beat as one, yet fate holds a darker plan. Can love truly conquer the evils of betrayal lurking within gilded walls? This is a tale of passion, power, and the sacrifices made in the name of love. Lady Isolde, daughter of a powerful duke, finds herself torn between duty and desire. Her heart races for the dashing Lord Alaric, a man of humble origins whose presence ignites a fire within her soul. But their love is a dangerous secret, one that could reshape the kingdom. As whispers of political intrigue fill the air, Isolde's father arranges her marriage to a ruthless prince. She feels the walls closing in, her heart aching for Alaric, whose unwavering love offers hope against the looming darkness. Their clandestine meetings become both a sanctuary and a perilous game. One fateful night, during a secret rendezvous, Alaric presents Isolde with a ring, a promise of love amidst chaos. But they are not alone. Hidden eyes watch, and the seeds of betrayal begin to sprout. In the realm of royalty, love can be as dangerous as it is beautiful. The prince, suspicious of Isolde's affections, devises a plan to expose her treachery. He employs spies and sets traps, determined to dismantle their love. Isolde feels the weight of her world crumbling, yet her heart clings to Alaric, who dares to fight for their love. As the royal court buzzes with rumors, Isolde grapples with her reality. Each day brings the impending marriage closer, and each night, her heart aches for Alaric. In a world where love is a crime, she must make a choice that could change everything. Alaric, unaware of the prince's growing suspicions, prepares for a bold declaration of love. He believes in the power of their bond, even as the shadows of treachery loom. Hope and fear intertwine, creating a storm within his heart as he sets out to confront fate. On the eve of her arranged wedding, Isolde meets Alaric one last time under the stars. They share their dreams, fears, and the bittersweet knowledge of their forbidden love. A promise is made, but the weight of the world presses down upon them, threatening to tear them apart. Just as the sun rises on their tragic dawn, the prince's forces close in. Alaric is captured, and Isolde is faced with an impossible choice: to save her love or to protect her family's honor. The stakes are higher than ever, and the pain of betrayal cuts deep. As Alaric is imprisoned, he feels the weight of despair. But Isolde, driven by love, plots her daring escape from her impending marriage. She must navigate the perilous waters of the royal court, risking everything for a love that defies destiny. With the help of loyal allies, Isolde devises a plan to free Alaric. They gather in secret, whispering their hopes and dreams, united by a common cause. The bond of love grows stronger, and the stakes of treachery turn their courage into a fierce resolve. The night of the escape arrives, filled with tension and anticipation. As Isolde slips into the prison, time feels both fleeting and eternal. Every heartbeat echoes with the hope of freedom, and love fuels her courage to face the prince's wrath. As she reaches Alaric, they share a moment of connection, their eyes speaking volumes. But the clock is ticking, and the prince's guards are on high alert. Together, they must summon every ounce of bravery to escape the bonds of treachery that have ensnared them. With a daring leap, Isolde and Alaric scale the castle walls, hearts pounding with each risky move. They evade guards and navigate the maze of shadows, their love lighting the path to freedom. Each step forward is a testament to their bond. As dawn breaks, the lovers race through the forest, leaving the castle behind. But the prince, furious at their betrayal, sends his men in pursuit. The weight of the kingdom's wrath bears down upon them, and their love must withstand the storm ahead. With the prince's forces in hot pursuit, Isolde and Alaric reach a perilous cliffside. The chasm below is daunting, but love gives them strength. Together, they must decide leap into the unknown, or surrender to the fate of treachery and despair. With hearts united and hands clasped tightly, they leap into the unknown, trusting that love will guide them. As they fall, time seems to suspend, and for a fleeting moment, they are free from the chains of their past. Love defies gravity and fate. They plunge into the cool waters below, the embrace of the lake offering solace. Surfacing together, they gasp for breath, laughter bubbling amidst tears. In that moment, they realize that love has triumphed over treachery, granting them a second chance at life. As they swim to the shore, the sounds of pursuit fade into the distance. Isolde and Alaric, now free, share a tender kiss, sealing their bond. They vow to build a life away from the shadows, where love can flourish unimpeded by betrayal. With the dawn of a new day, they find a small village where they start anew. The villagers embrace them, unaware of the royal drama they escaped. In this quiet haven, the power of love begins to heal their wounds, and hope blossoms. As the days turn into weeks, Isolde and Alaric cultivate a life filled with simple joys. Their love flourishes in this tranquil space, away from the treachery of the royal court. Yet shadows from their past loom ever closer, threatening their newfound happiness. The prince, relentless in his pursuit, uncovers their location. He rallies his forces, determined to reclaim what he believes is his. The tension mounts as Isolde and Alaric realize their past is not yet behind them, and they must prepare to face the storm once more. As the threat looms, Isolde and Alaric confront their past. They rally the villagers, igniting a spirit of defiance against the prince's tyranny. United by love and hope, they prepare to stand and fight for their freedom, their bond stronger than ever. The day of reckoning arrives, and the village stands united against the prince's army. Isolde and Alaric lead the charge, love giving them strength amidst the chaos. In this final stand, they fight not only for their lives, but for the right to love freely. In the midst of battle, Isolde and Alaric find themselves separated, each facing their own trials. Alaric fights valiantly against overwhelming odds, while Isolde inspires her fellow villagers, reminding them of the love that fuels their fight. Just when hope seems lost, Alaric, bruised but unbroken, catches sight of Isolde in danger. With renewed vigor, he fights his way through the chaos, driven by love to reach her side. The bond they share becomes a beacon of hope amidst darkness. As Alaric reaches Isolde, they share a fierce embrace, the world around them vanishing for a moment. But their reunion is short-lived. As the prince confronts them, his fury palpable. In this moment of truth, love and betrayal collide fiercely. The prince's wrath boils over, and he challenges Alaric to a duel. The stakes are higher than ever. The victor will claim Isolde's heart and their future. As swords clash, the fate of their love hangs in the balance, and the air is thick with tension. As they fight, Alaric recalls the moments that led them to this point. Every joyous memory fuels his resolve to protect Isolde, while the prince's desperation drives him to fight ruthlessly. In the clash of steel, love and vengeance dance dangerously close. In a final clash, Alaric disarms the prince, but instead of delivering a fatal blow, he hesitates, torn by the weight of his own morality. This act of mercy ignites a flicker of humanity in the prince, revealing the depth of their shared tragedy. As the prince stumbles back, he realizes the power of love in this moment. In an unexpected turn, he lays down his sword, acknowledging that the bond between Isolde and Alaric transcends his claim. The battle shifts from violence to understanding, reshaping their fates. With the prince's surrender, the villagers erupt in cheers, having witnessed a love that conquered treachery. Isolde and Alaric embrace, tears of joy streaming down their faces. They realize that their love has not only survived, but triumphed against all odds. In the aftermath, Isolde and Alaric stand together, hand in hand, ready to forge a new future. The village, forever changed by their love, welcomes them as heroes. Together, they vow to protect their newfound home and ensure that no love is ever silenced again. As the sun sets on the horizon, Isolde and Alaric look toward the future with hope and love. Their journey, though fraught with treachery, has shown them that true love can overcome any obstacle. This is just the beginning of their story, one where love reigns supreme. In the depths of the royal palace, whispers of treachery echoed through the marble halls. Isolde and Alaric, now living in secret, felt the weight of the kingdom's discontent pressing on their hearts. With each passing day, danger lurked closer, and they knew that love alone could not shield them from the storm ahead. One fateful night, during a fierce storm, Alaric made a decision that could change everything. He ventured into the heart of the kingdom, seeking allies among the discontented nobles. The flickering candlelight in the tavern revealed faces filled with anger and a desire for change. Meanwhile, Isolde, left alone in their hidden sanctuary, sensed the growing threat. She pored over ancient texts, seeking wisdom from the past. As she deciphered prophecies, she realized that their love was intertwined with a fate even greater than their own. Alaric returned with troubling news. The nobles, once loyal, were now divided, some conspiring to dethrone the king. Their plan was treacherous, relying on deceit and manipulation, and Alaric found himself caught in a web of political intrigue. As they strategized their next move, the tension between them grew palpable. Isolde feared for Alaric's safety, while he struggled with the burden of leadership. Each decision carried the weight of their love, and the stakes had never been higher. War loomed on the horizon as Alaric rallied the loyalists. He knew that to protect Isolde, he had to act decisively. In the cool night air, he addressed his newfound allies, igniting a fire of revolution among those who desired change. Back at their sanctuary, Isolde prepared herself for battle, both physically and emotionally. She practiced with a sword gifted to her by Alaric, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. Love had transformed her from a mere noblewoman into a warrior. As tensions escalated, betrayal struck when a trusted ally revealed Isolde's secret location. Shadows crept into their sanctuary, and a feeling of dread settled over them. This was a test of their love and loyalty, and the consequences were dire. In a desperate attempt to protect Isolde, Alaric made the hardest choice of all. He decided to confront the king, knowing that it could lead to a deadly confrontation. His heart ached, torn between loyalty to his king and love for Isolde. As Alaric approached the throne room, tension crackled in the air. The king, unaware of Alaric's true intentions, awaited him with a smirk. Little did he know, love would be wielded as a weapon in this dangerous Game of Thrones. Meanwhile, Isolde, feeling the weight of Alaric's choice, prepared for the worst. She resolved to take action, knowing that if she was to protect their love, she needed to step into the fray. This was more than love. It was a battle for their future. The confrontation escalated quickly as Alaric fought to reveal the king's treachery to the court. His voice rang out, challenging the very foundation of loyalty that had once bound them. The court gasped, shocked by the truth that unfolded. Isolde, sensing Alaric's plight, made her way through the chaos to support him. She knew that love could unite the divided court, and together they would expose the king's deceit. But the path was fraught with peril. As the truth came to light, the king became enraged, his wrath turning against Alaric and Isolde. He unleashed his guards, commanding them to seize the traitors. In the face of danger, Isolde and Alaric stood united, ready to fight for their love. A fierce battle erupted in the throne room as swords clashed, and the air was thick with tension. Alaric fought valiantly, protecting Isolde, who had taken up her sword, fighting alongside him as equals. Their love forged a powerful alliance in the chaos. Amidst the chaos, Alaric caught a glimpse of Isolde cornered by a guard. Panic surged within him, fueling his resolve. He fought through the fray, determined to reach her, knowing that their love was worth any risk. Finally reaching her side, Alaric grasped Isolde's hand. Their fingers intertwined, a symbol of their unbreakable bond. Together, they turned to face their attackers, the strength of their love shining brightly even in the darkest of times. The tide of the battle shifted as allies emerged from the shadows, rallying to their cause. Nobles who once stood with the king now turned against him, driven by the truth revealed by Alaric and Isolde's courage. Love had sparked a revolution. As the king's defenses crumbled, Alaric and Isolde pushed forward, their hearts beat as one surging with the power of their love. They knew that victory was within reach, but the final confrontation loomed ahead, shrouded in uncertainty. Finally, they faced the king, whose once mighty presence now appeared frail and desperate. Alaric stepped forward, ready to confront the man who had threatened their love. The weight of their journey culminated in this moment, their love, the ultimate weapon. In a tense standoff, Alaric's voice rang clear, declaring the truth of the king's tyranny. The court fell silent, the air thick with anticipation. Isolde stood beside him, a fierce protector of their love and truth, ready to fight whatever came next. With courage coursing through them, Alaric and Isolde demanded justice. They recounted the suffering caused by the king's rule, hoping to sway the hearts of the nobles. This was their moment to stand for not just their love, but the future of the kingdom. As the nobles deliberated, uncertainty filled the room. Would they side with love and truth, or remain loyal to tyranny? The weight of their choice hung in the air, and for Alaric and Isolde, this was a battle for more than their own lives. Just as hope began to flicker, a noble rose to speak, challenging the king's authority. Inspired by Alaric and Isolde's bravery, voices began to rise in support of the couple. The tides were shifting, and the king realized his power was waning. In a final, desperate move, the king attempted to sway the nobles back to his side, using threats and promises. But Alaric and Isolde stood firm, their love a beacon of hope amidst the darkness. Their bond inspired others to rise for what was right. As the court erupted in chaos, the nobles began to turn against the king en masse. With each declaration of support for Alaric and Isolde, the king's fury grew, and his desperation turned to violence. The climax of the battle for the crown had begun. In the ensuing turmoil, Alaric and Isolde fought side by side, drawing strength from one another. Their love became a force of nature, pushing them forward as they faced the king and his guards together. This was their moment of truth. With the court divided and chaos unfolding, the final confrontation was inevitable. Alaric and Isolde, fueled by love and justice, charged toward the king. Their hearts beat as one ready to fight for their future. The clash of swords rang throughout the court, echoing the struggle for justice and love. Alaric and Isolde fought valiantly, their movements in sync, each blow a testament to their unwavering bond. Love was their greatest weapon against tyranny. As the battle raged on, hope flickered in the eyes of the nobles who had once been loyal to the king. They saw the power of love and unity before them, and one by one they joined the fight against tyranny, inspired by Alaric and Isolde's courage. In the climactic showdown, Alaric and Isolde stood on the brink of victory, but the outcome remained uncertain. With their love as their guide, they would face whatever darkness loomed next, knowing that true love could conquer all. The battlefield trembled beneath the weight of clashing swords, but amidst the chaos, Alaric and Isolde shared a fleeting glance that reignited their hope. Even as the enemy closed in, their hearts beat in unison, determined to protect not just their love, but their people. Victory was a distant dream, yet together they felt invincible, ready to face whatever awaited them. In the shadows of the castle, a covert meeting unfolded. Loyalists gathered, whispering plans of rebellion against the treacherous king who sought to destroy Alaric and Isolde. Among them was a mysterious figure, cloaked in secrecy, whose true allegiance remained questionable. Could they be trusted to aid the lovers, or would their involvement lead to ruin? As rumors of the lovers' defiance spread, so did the king's fury. He ordered an all-out hunt for Alaric and Isolde, revealing his ruthless nature. The air was thick with fear, but also with whispers of hope as townsfolk began to rally behind their beloved heroes, ready to defy the crown's oppressive rule. Love was sparking rebellion. As night fell, Isolde and Alaric found refuge in a hidden cave, their sanctuary from the storm outside. They shared their fears and dreams, the flickering fire reflecting the depth of their love. In this intimate moment, they made a vow to each other, not just to survive, but to thrive and fight for their future together against overwhelming odds. However, shadows loomed even in their sanctuary. The mysterious figure from the meeting approached, revealing themselves as a former ally of the king, now seeking redemption. They offered crucial information about the king's next move, but Alaric remained skeptical. Was this a chance for hope, or a trap set to ensnare them? With heavy hearts, Alaric and Isolde decided to trust the figure. They had little choice, the king's forces were growing stronger, and time was running out. The plan was set, a strike at dawn to reclaim their rightful place and rally their supporters. Their love fueled their courage, pushing them to stand against the tide of treachery. Dawn painted the sky in shades of gold, but the air was thick with tension. The lovers gathered their supporters, each face reflecting the stakes of their mission. They knew that the king's guards would be fierce, but the bond of love and loyalty among them fueled their resolve to fight for freedom and love. As they approached the castle, the sight of the king's men sent a ripple of fear through the ranks. But Alaric stepped forward, his voice ringing clear above the murmur of anxiety. He reminded them of the love they fought to protect, igniting a spark of bravery that coursed through their veins, ready to stand for their future. The battle commenced, swords clashing and battle cries echoing as Alaric and Isolde fought side by side. Their movements were synchronized, a testament to their deep connection. Each swing of the sword was a declaration of their love, each step forward a challenge to the king's tyranny, as they fought not just for themselves but for an entire realm. In the midst of battle, Alaric caught sight of the king, a cruel smile on his face as he directed his men. Fueled by rage, Alaric charged, determined to confront the men who had sought to destroy their love. But as he fought his way through the throng, he couldn't shake the feeling that tragedy was lurking just beyond the horizon. Isolde, aware of Alaric's determination, fought to keep close to him, but the tide of battle pulled them apart. She felt the sting of worry as she was surrounded by enemies. With every clash of steel, she called out for Alaric, her heart racing in desperate hope that he would find his way back to her. Suddenly, a loud clash echoed as Alaric finally reached the king. Their swords clashed, a burst of energy igniting between them. Alaric's heart pounded as he faced the man who had caused them so much pain. Each strike was filled with the weight of their struggles, echoing the love he fought for. As the battle raged on, the mysterious figure reappeared, aiding Isolde against an onslaught of soldiers. Their true motives still unclear, Isolde felt a mix of gratitude and suspicion. Was this ally truly on their side, or did they have their own agenda? The uncertainty gnawed at her, but survival took precedence. Back in the duel, Alaric's strength began to wane against the king's relentless attacks. Each blow reminded him of Isolde's sacrifice, fueling his resolve. He knew he had to protect her at all costs. With a surge of adrenaline, Alaric pushed through the pain, channeling every ounce of his love into one decisive strike. With fierce determination, Alaric unleashed a powerful strike, knocking the king's sword aside. The king stumbled, surprise etched on his face. In that moment, time felt suspended, and the weight of their tragic love hung in the balance. Would this be the turning point they needed to reclaim their destiny? As Alaric prepared for a final blow, Isolde, still battling in the fray, suddenly screamed. A guard had snuck up behind her, sword raised. The sound pierced through the chaos, causing Alaric's heart to stop. He turned, horrified, as he realized the danger she was in. The stakes had just risen to unimaginable heights. In a flash of instinct, Alaric lunged, his heart racing as he rushed towards Isolde. Time slowed as he imagined the world without her. Every moment they had shared flooded his mind, igniting a fierce urgency. He could not lose her. Not now. He fought against the tide of soldiers, fueled by love and desperation. Just as the guard's sword was about to descend, Alaric reached Isolde. With a swift motion, he parried the blow, the clang of steel ringing out like a death knell. Relief washed over him as he turned to Isolde, breathless but resolute. They stood together, united against the darkness that threatened to engulf them both. But the fight was far from over. Alaric and Isolde found themselves back-to-back, fending off waves of soldiers. Their movements became synchronized once again, a dance of survival fueled by love. Each enemy they fought felt like a testament to their bond, their determination giving them strength where it was needed most. Amidst the chaos, the mysterious figure reappeared, this time fighting alongside them. They seemed to have a knack for outmaneuvering enemies, their skills undeniable. Isolde couldn't shake the feeling of unease, yet knew they needed all the help they could get. Trust was a fragile thing in such a tumultuous time. As they fought, Isolde caught a glimpse of a familiar face among the king's guards. It was her brother, fought lost to the king's forces. Conflicted emotions surged within her. Should she fight him or reach out? The reality of familial bonds twisted painfully with her allegiance to Alaric, leaving her frozen in indecision. Amid her turmoil, Alaric noticed her hesitation. He called out to her, urging her to focus on their fight. The urgency in his voice broke through her internal struggle. She had to choose love over blood, no matter the pain it caused. With a deep breath, she steeled herself, ready to face whatever came next. With renewed resolve, Isolde turned back to the battle, her heart heavy yet determined. She fought fiercely, each movement reflecting her commitment to Alaric and their shared destiny. The love they had ignited in the darkest of times fueled her, transforming her pain into a weapon against the tyranny they fought. Meanwhile, the tide of battle began to shift. Alaric and Isolde, alongside their mysterious ally, pushed back against the king's forces. The cries of their supporters energized them, turning the battlefield into a cacophony of hope. With every step forward, the chains of tyranny felt weaker, and freedom seemed within reach. But just as victory seemed possible, the king unleashed a hidden weapon, a battalion of armored knights, fierce and relentless. Alaric's heart sank as he realized the magnitude of the threat. They were outnumbered, and the shadows of defeat began to loom large again. Would their love be enough to withstand this betrayal? Isolde looked at Alaric, their eyes locking in a moment of shared understanding. They had fought too hard and come too far to give up now. With a fierce battle cry, they rallied their supporters, their voices rising above the din. Each cry was a powerful reminder of what they fought for: love, freedom, and a future together. As the knights charged, Alaric and Isolde took their places at the forefront of the battle, side by side once more. They swung their swords with unyielding resolve, each strike embodying their love and the sacrifices they had made. The battlefield was a blur of movement, but within it, their bond remained unbreakable, a beacon of hope in the darkness. The clash of metal rang out like thunder as the knights collided with their forces. Alaric and Isolde fought with unmatched ferocity, each swing of their swords drawing on their love and the weight of their journey. But just as they began to push back, a knight landed a blow on Alaric, sending him crashing to the ground. Isolde's heart dropped as she saw Alaric fall. She fought her way through the throng, desperation driving her forward. As she reached him, she knelt beside him, tears brimming in her eyes. "Stay with me," she pleaded, her voice breaking as the chaos of battle raged around them. The love they shared fueled her determination to save him. Alaric opened his eyes, pain coursing through him, but the sight of Isolde steadied his heart. Her presence was a balm against the agony. With a trembling hand, he reached for hers, their fingers intertwining. "I will never leave you," he whispered. the weight of their love giving him strength as he fought against unconsciousness. Fueled by Alaric's whispered promise, Isolde stood up, her determination ignited. She called out to their supporters, urging them to fight for Alaric, for their love, and for the future they dreamed of together. With newfound strength, she fought back against the knights, her movements reflecting both grace and ferocity, embodying the spirit of their struggle. As Isolde fought valiantly, Alaric struggled to rise. He felt the presence of their mysterious ally nearby, their skills unmatched as they fought off several knights. A flicker of trust began to form within Alaric's heart. Perhaps this figure was indeed an ally worth believing in, someone who could help them turn the tide of this battle. With every ounce of willpower, Alaric pushed through the pain, finally managing to rise to his feet. The sight of Isolde fighting fiercely reignited his spirit. Together, they could do this. With renewed determination, Alaric rejoined the fray, his heart set on reclaiming their destiny, his love for Isolde guiding him every step of the way. Together once more, Alaric and Isolde fought with unmatched intensity. Their movements were fluid, a perfect blend of strength and grace, as they protected each other amidst the turmoil. With every enemy they faced, their bond grew stronger, proving that even amidst betrayal, their love was an unbreakable force. But just as hope flickered, a sudden blow from one of the knights knocked Alaric to the ground again. Isolde gasped, rushing to his side. Anger surged through her as she saw the knight about to strike again, the depths of her love turning into fierce protectiveness. She would not let him fall again. Isolde stepped between Alaric and the knight, sword raised high. With a fierce cry, she charged, fueled by her love for Alaric and the desire to protect their future. The knight underestimated her resolve, and the clash of their swords echoed like a thunderclap, a testament to her strength in the face of danger. As Isolde battled the knight, Alaric watched with a mix of pride and fear. He struggled to regain his strength, knowing he could not let her fight alone. Summoning every ounce of energy, he pushed himself up, determined to stand by her side once more, ready to face whatever came next together. Just as Isolde began to falter, Alaric finally managed to rise. Their eyes met, and in that moment, an invisible bond surged between them. Together, they fought off the knight, each strike a reminder of their unbreakable connection. Love had become their ultimate weapon, driving them forward against the odds. With a final, powerful strike, they defeated the knight together, the sound echoing triumphantly across the battlefield. Their victory was short-lived, however, as they turned to see the king himself charging toward them, fury etched on his face. The final confrontation was at hand, and the air crackled with tension. The king's presence loomed large, his anger palpable as he confronted Alaric and Isolde. "You think love can save you?" he spat, rage seeping into his words. Alaric stood tall, heart pounding, but with Isolde by his side, he felt a rush of courage. "Love can conquer any darkness," he declared, defiance in his voice. With a roar, the king charged, and Alaric met him head-on, their swords clashing with a force that reverberated through the battlefield. Every blow was fierce, fueled by Alaric's love for Isolde and his desire to protect their future. They were no longer just fighting for survival. They were fighting for love itself. As their duel raged on, Alaric felt the tide turning. He recalled all the sacrifices they had made and the love that had brought them this far. With a surge of determination, he launched a final, decisive attack, hoping to end the king's tyranny once and for all. The outcome hung in the balance. In a moment of clarity, Alaric saw the king's vulnerability, a flicker of fear in his eyes. Seizing the opportunity, Alaric struck true, his sword finding its mark. The king let out a shocked gasp, the realization of defeat dawning upon him. This was the moment they had fought so hard to achieve. As the king fell to the ground, a profound silence enveloped the battlefield. Alaric and Isolde stood together, hearts racing as they absorbed the reality of their victory. But even in that moment of triumph, doubt lingered. Was this the end of their fight? or merely the beginning of a new struggle for peace and love. In the aftermath of the battle, the people began to gather, their eyes filled with awe and gratitude. Alaric and Isolde had become symbols of hope, their love a beacon in the darkness. Yet, the path ahead was fraught with challenges. Could they truly unite a fractured kingdom and heal the wounds of betrayal? As Alaric and Isolde stood before their people, a sense of purpose washed over them. They knew they had to lead, to inspire and protect the love that had brought them to this moment. With hearts intertwined, they vowed to forge a new future, not just for themselves, but for all those who had fought beside them. Yet, whispers of discord lingered among the crowds. Some were hesitant to accept their leadership, remnants of loyalty to the fallen king clouding their judgment. Alaric and Isolde knew they would need to earn their trust, to prove that their love could mend the fractures in a once-united kingdom. To address the growing unrest, Alaric and Isolde organized a gathering in the town square, inviting everyone to share their voices. They spoke passionately about unity, love, and the need to build a future together. Their words resonated with some, but skepticism remained in the hearts of others. As the days turned into weeks, Alaric and Isolde worked tirelessly, visiting villages and listening to the concerns of their people. They faced challenges at every turn, but their love remained an unyielding force, a reminder of what they were fighting for. Together, they forged connections, slowly winning hearts and minds. However, a shadow of betrayal loomed once more. A faction loyal to the fallen king began to stir, rallying those still clinging to the past. Alaric and Isolde felt the tension rising, knowing they must confront this threat before it escalated into another conflict that could shatter their hard-won peace. With the tension mounting, Alaric and Isolde called for another gathering, this time to address the rising dissent. They stood hand in hand, their love a poignant symbol of hope in the face of adversity. They laid bare their vision for a united kingdom, urging their people to stand strong against division. But not everyone was swayed. A vocal opponent emerged from the crowd, challenging their vision and reigniting old loyalties. They shouted of the king's supposed glory days, stirring doubt in the hearts of many. Alaric and Isolde felt the weight of their words, but their love remained steadfast, a reminder of what they stood to protect. Faced with opposition, Isolde stepped forward, her voice unwavering. She spoke of the sacrifices made, of the love that had brought them to this moment. She urged the crowd to remember the pain of the past and the strength they had found in one another. Her words resonated deeply, igniting a flicker of hope. Alaric joined her, echoing her sentiments. He reminded them of the power of love and unity, urging them to rise above the past. Their combined voices created a powerful wave of emotion washing over the crowd. Slowly, the atmosphere shifted, doubt giving way to a renewed sense of purpose. The crowd began to respond, voices rising in support of Alaric and Isolde. For every voice that stood against them, two rose to champion their cause. The couple felt a surge of hope and determination, knowing that together they could create the future they envisioned. One built on love and unity, but darkness still lurked in the corners of their new kingdom. The faction opposed to their rule continued to gather strength, planning their next move. Alaric and Isolde were aware that their love would be put to the ultimate test, and they steeled themselves for the battles yet to come. In the days that followed, Alaric and Isolde worked tirelessly to fortify their position. They sought alliances with neighboring kingdoms, sharing their vision of peace and love. With each new alliance, they felt hope blossoming, but uncertainty still lingered in the background, a reminder that their journey was far from over. However, as they celebrated their newfound alliances, news arrived of an impending attack from the faction loyal to the fallen king. The urgency of the situation became apparent, and Alaric and Isolde quickly rallied their supporters, preparing for yet another battle. They knew they had to protect their love and the future they fought for. The day of the battle dawned with a heavy fog, casting an eerie atmosphere over the land. Alaric and Isolde stood together at the front lines, their hearts resolute. They knew they had to face the darkness unflinchingly, fortified by the love that had brought them this far. Together, they would not falter. As the opposing forces approached, Alaric and Isolde rallied their supporters, their voices echoing through the fog. They reminded everyone of their shared purpose, the love that had ignited their revolution. The fog lifted slightly, revealing the enemy, and the battle was set to begin. A clash not only of swords, but of wills and hearts. The battle commenced with a thunderous roar, swords clashing in a symphony of chaos. Alaric and Isolde fought side by side once more, their movements fluid and powerful. Each enemy they faced was a reminder of the stakes at hand. Their love and the future of their kingdom hung in the balance, every blow a testament to their unbreakable bond. As the battle raged on, the couple's love shone through the chaos. They protected one another, anticipating each other's moves with an instinctive understanding. But then, a familiar face emerged from the enemy lines, Isolde's brother, wielding a sword with a fierce determination to fight against them. The past had come back to haunt her. Isolde's heart sank as she saw her brother charging at them. Memories of their childhood surged within her, but she knew she had to stand firm. Alaric sensed her turmoil and squeezed her hand reassuringly. With a heavy heart, Isolde prepared to confront her brother, torn between love and duty. In that tense moment, Isolde stepped forward, meeting her brother's gaze. "I don't want to fight you," she cried, desperation lacing her voice. The battlefield around them faded as they locked eyes. Would he listen to her plea, or would the bonds of blood and loyalty force them into conflict? As the weight of her words hung in the air, her brother hesitated, caught between his loyalty to the fallen king and the love he once had for Isolde. Alaric stood beside Isolde, ready to support her whatever decision was made. The battlefield held its breath, awaiting the next move in this tragic love story, where love faced the ultimate test against treachery.